careers. So before we just get started with the webinar, I just would like to ask you, talk about some housekeeping rules. If you could please close your camera, close your microphones. If you have any question as we go along, please use the chat for that, and we'll be happy to answer those questions directly, or we'll take those questions at the end. And as well, we have a Q&A sessions with our panel members as well. So we're very lucky to have three guests with us today. So we have Bree Creaser, Vice President of Learning and Development for the Minor Hotel Group. We have Anthony Cranepool, I'm not sure if the name is pronounced correctly, a Les Roches alumni who is now working for Aman, and also working for the Aman Group, one of our young graduate, Ham, who just graduated about more than a year ago, and now that has started his career already very, very well. So the goal today is not so much to talk about the program and the school and the BBA and what we do, because we have other webinar in that purpose that you can find on our YouTube channel, on our website. But today it's really more about kind of what is hospitality education, what is a hospitality career, and then what kind of doors it will open you for the future of your work and your career and so on. And that's really what I would like to talk about. So who am I? As mentioned before, I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the Asian Institute of Hospitality and Management. I'm an EHL graduate, graduated about 25 years ago, and then worked in hospitality. I worked in Thailand at the time. So I came all the way from Switzerland to work in Thailand and Hilton. And then approximately 20 years ago, I decided to change my career path and went to education. So I worked for quite a long time at the Swiss Hotel Management School as a lecturer, then a program manager, program leader. And then I went back to EHL as an employee, worked for international relationship with other hotel schools. And then that brought me here to AIM. On the other hand, I'm a very big geek. I love everything that is Apple related. So I've also become, during the period of education, what we call an Apple Distinguished Educator and an Apple Professional Learning Specialist. So someone who is focused in improving and innovating in education, obviously with technology and obviously using the Apple technology. So that's who I am. So then I would like to present Bree as a member of the panel. Is Bree here?
I sure am.
Hello, Bree.
Hi. Am I doing the introduction?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you all today. Yes, I'm the VP of Learning and Development and Talent Management at Minor Hotels. I've been here now for 18 months. I've been in the hospitality industry for almost 30 years now. So always started, my first job was in restaurants. And then I went into Accor Hotels at the age of 17, would you believe it? And then I had the opportunity to participate in internal traineeships, then the National Management Traineeship, which was a fast track to GM opportunity. And then after that, not long after that, I became general manager in several hotels in Australia for Accor. I then had the opportunity to move over here into Asia, now based in Bangkok. However, in the role of learning and development director for Accor Hotels. Through that, I've been in the industry, I suppose the region, for about 11, 12 years now. And during COVID, I left Accor to start my own business, and I was consulting for Intercontinental hotels globally for talent development, and then made my way over to Minor. So having a great time here, and of course, linking a lot of our initiatives with AIM and utilising our skills from our team at AIM as well. So it's a pleasure to be here and sharing with you.
Thank you very much, Bree. So ready to talk all about the great potential that hospitality education offers, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you. We also then have Anthony Cranepool, if I pronounce that correctly, Les Roches alumni. So we're in academic association with Les Roches. So that's why I would like to invite you. So Anthony, could you please introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anthony Cranepool, so Chris, you got the last name spot on. Thank you. I've been working at Amman for almost 3 months now, so it's a new role for me. But I've been in Thailand for about 13 years now. I was at my last workplace as well in corporate office with Onyx Hospitality Group based in Bangkok. So first time corporate role. And before that, I was actually an entrepreneur, had my own restaurant in Bangkok, sort of ran that for 8 years, which was a great learning curve as well as part of the hospitality, not hotels, but restaurants. So it's a different side of the business. And then, yeah, I've been in hospitality for a little over 15 years now, and have worked in various brands, as you can see on the screen, for a majority of the time with Four Seasons, and in a variety of places around the world, whether it's France, Maldives, Syria, French Polynesia, the Seychelles, as well as Thailand, right? So it's been a great journey so far, and now kicking it off strongly with Amman back into the world of luxury. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Anthony. So when did you graduate from Les Roches?
I graduated back in 2010, so it's coming 15 years now.
15 years. So I'm sure you have a lot of recommendation for our students and future students about what to do after graduating.
Absolutely, it would be a pleasure.
And then last but not least, so Supapit or Kunham, alumni, just graduated about more than a year ago, joined Amman as well. So could you tell us a little bit about what who you are and what you've done so far?
Certainly. Good evening, everyone. My name is Subhavipan Ratana Mongkon, or you can call me Ham. I graduated from AM as part of the first graduating class last year. And then after that, I joined the pre-opening team at the Amman United Bangkok. And now I'm at the chief leader position, which is a supervisor level at the front office in Amman United Bangkok. And I also did my internship and also my part-time jobs in the capital Bangkok and Four Seasons, as well as in Anantara and Marriott as well. So excited to be here and also to share some of my experience so far.
Thank you, Ham. Can you tell us why did you choose hospitality as an education when you wanted to go into choosing a university?
Well, for me, I think the hospitality industry is such a wide range of experience, and you can get the exposure to a lot of things, from working in the back office, from like corporate, finance, marketing, to the operation side, including the F&B and the front office. I think that diverse range of experience really inspired me to join the hospital industry and allow me to grow as a person as well.
All right. From the first day that you actually decided to join AIM and now that you're working, how is reality towards what was told to you when you started studying?
The first day I joined AIM when we were in the middle of the pandemic, so everything was new to us. The remote learning experience and the experience we got back then was different from where we are right now. We had so many opportunities to explore many different areas and different paths, and that allow us to adapt and to grow to become who we are right now.
All right, thank you so much. So again, the goal of today is not so much to talk about the bachelor and the details of the bachelor, but just to understand hospitality education in general. That's really the focus of what I want to try to explain today. I'm an hospitality education graduate. I had my bachelor and my master in that field. I've worked in hospitality, then I worked in hospitality education. So obviously I spent all my life into it. So I strongly believe into it. So that the reasons why we are here today is to shape to you why this is a great option. So what is one of the great advantages of learning and having your education in hospitality education is that it's a very practical based education. So we have, of course, what we call the practical arts when you start with your studies, which is all about learning the arts of running a hotel, whether it's in the service, whether it's at the reception, whether it's looking at maybe cooking or even like taking care of the rooms and the housekeeping of it, which you all learn throughout your first semester, plus the internship. But it's also practical in the way in terms of management. So we know that from every hospitality graduate from different schools, that they're very good at presenting, they're very good at working in teams, they're very good at discussing on projects and so on, because this practical aspect is really blended all across the studies, whether it's in the classroom or again working throughout your different types of internship. So this combination of really theory and practical experiences is really what makes the strength of that particular program. So let's show you the structure of the program, which is what we have here, which is we have following exactly the same structure as what Les Roches is doing. So when students are doing the first semester, it's all about building the foundation. So it's all about learning how to be an hotelier. It's learning about housekeeping, it's learning about kitchen, it's learning about serving customers, we're doing a concierge and welcoming. It's all about the art of customer service. It's all about the art of presenting yourself and building what we call the soft skills, which I'll be talking about quite a few times during this presentation, but the importance of being able to present yourself with confidence, being able to talk to strangers, talk to guests, create a welcoming experience and so on. And all is built that during those first 6 months on campus. And after that, you go to your first internship. First internship, very important for two reasons. First is that you will start already have a work experience when you're still very young. So you're 17 and a half, 18 years old. You start working. This is something you can put in your CV. It will help you mature a lot very quickly as well. And it will give you access to responsibilities, need to be coming on time at work, need to maybe work sometimes after time as well. Working with supervisors, working with customers, so getting that kind of real life experience, which is very important, that will help you start your career as well. And then once you do that, you come back to the campus, and then for 1 year you learn all about management. So you learn business, revenue management, F&B management, accounting, and so on. And then you go to your second internship. And the second internship is an important element as well of your career building, because the second internship is really focused on what's going to be your first step after you graduate. Do you want to work in marketing? Do you want to work in accounting? Do you want to work maybe in events? Do you want to work back as a GM, or that's what you want to do? So that's second internship choice is an important one, because it will again kind of direct you in what will be the next step after you graduate. And maybe you don't like it, it's also possible. Maybe you've always dreamed about marketing, and then you end up working 6 months in marketing and you realize that actually marketing is not really what I want. So maybe I want to readjust my career choice as well. So all of these that really give you that strong foundation of work ethics and be able to work later. So Anthony, you followed a very similar structure at Les Roches as well, to internship and academia. Can you share with the public a little bit about how this structure really helps you with starting your career?
Yeah, I think the having two internships throughout the entire program is really beneficial. For me personally, I started my hospitality education a little bit later than maybe the general population. I started at around age 2021. I actually studied medical before joining education in hospitality, purely because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do later on. But in France at the time, that was probably one of the better outcomes. The internships actually really helped me because I'm not really a bookworm person. I'm not someone who's able to learn only by reading books, by memorizing things. I really needed something to put my hands onto, right? And so having an internship to really live and breathe the day-to-day operations during my first internship in southern France was really a big eye-opener to what the world of hospitality really had to offer. of course, the first semester with learning theoretical is needed in school, but that first internship is when you put it into practice and when things get really consolidated. All of those learnings become relevant, right? And the great thing is, after your 6 months internship, you come back to school, and everybody comes back to school, and everybody shares their experiences, their stories, and you get even more excited about what the rest of the hospitality world has to offer, rather than just your first internship. And as Chris was saying, that second internship is more of a deeper dive into what you really feel you would want to do later on in hotels or in the world of hospitality. And it's really a good structure to have, because you get to come back to school afterwards and consolidate even further those theoretical knowledges that you want to learn in more deeper levels. And 6 months internship periods for each are great periods of times to say, I've been there for a certain amount of time. I've learned what the property, what the brand has to offer, how they do business, how they compete with other hotel brands or other businesses, and to understand why is it that we do it in this way. And later on, you can put it into practice during that first or second internship. So for me, not being a bookworm, being someone that really needs to be hands-on, those internships were transformational, if I would say so. Yeah.
Did you do the internship that led you to your first job, or were there different choices?
I did my first internship in front office, mixing, reception, concierge, bellman, guest services. My second internship, actually, I got it thanks to the connections that I made during that first internship, right? My front office manager at the time was an alumni of my university. We kept in contact during the next semester, keeping the communication going. That led me to landing my second internship. And I stayed with the same brand for a couple of years, which did lead me to a management training program of 12 months once I completed my BBA. And after that management training program, I landed my first job. So it was sort of a great continuation to have, and I would not have been able to do that if I did not have an education in hospitality.
Mm. It's a great point. Thank you for adding that. So the internships also offer you a chance to network and meet people and start your career as well. My second internship was in Thailand. That's how I came to Thailand the very first time, is that through family connections or friends and family connection. I met somebody that was running an Ademari airport at the time, then did my internship there. I believe I did quite a good job, because they said, okay, you go back to Switzerland, and after you graduate, you come back and then you work for us again. So it's through the hard work, through the internship, that you create your relationship that kind of help you build your career. Yeah, for sure. Great point. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
So let's talk about the first internship. So the first internship, you can see some of our students in action. It is all about practical arts. It's all about operational. So at AIM, we would want to invite you to work in a hotel. We would like to propose you to work again in the four main operational aspect of a hotel, which is either at the front desk, at the concierge, so welcoming customers, maybe work in the kitchen. We recommend students that are really motivated and really passionate about kitchen to do that, because our kitchen training is quite short. Front desk is very, very popular. About 65% of our students tend to go to the front desk, but we also have about 30% of students who go to the F&B. So if you like service, if you like restaurant concepts, it can also be a great opening part. So what is important to understand, and that's really part of our philosophy, is that once you start, you already start your career choices, because we don't place you, but because you make your choices. Where do you want to go? Do you want to stay in Thailand? Do you want to go abroad? Do you want to go to the Middle East? Want to go to the Maldives? Do you want to go to Europe? So that's all the choices are open to you. And then also the type of department you like to work in. So what you practice for the first 6 months, then you will try to put it into application, doing your internship as well, to see if it's really what you really like. We will, of course, help you prepare for your internship and for all the skills you need to have even before getting it. So how to interview, how to write your CV, how to write your resume, how to prepare for an online interview and discuss with people. And then once you do some research around the location where you want to go and study, and then to make sure that everything goes well. But already this kind of elements of preparing you for your career already makes you grow in more in maturity, and that also will help you to kind of work and make you more motivated, you will more motivated, more disciplined, may I say, more structured as well. And then typically, again, you build your network, you get some recommendation letter from your managers, and then all of that will help you with your overall employability. So what I'd like to ask is to Ham. So you know, because of COVID, you had a bit of a mix-up, but your operational internship was at Capella, right? So can you tell us about your experience at Capella and how it kind of equipped you for now working at Amman?
Well, I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to join Capella Bangkok for my internship in the countries, which is like a concierge and the front office as well. It was like the 6 months I got to try everything, and we also experienced I got to see like many new things that I didn't have a chance to experience before, from the guest point and also from the hotel point as well. The team and the hotel itself also very strong and has a very solid foundation. They have a very supportive environment. And I also got so many connections from this internship. Even now I'm working at Amman and still got to see to connect with so many people back in Capella who also went to many hotels, and now we got like a network around the hotel industry. And then I also got my work opportunity at Amman from one of my colleagues who also worked in Capella and now moved to Amman. And then they reached out to me and then asked me if I was interested to join Amman as well. So that's how I also got my work opportunity from my internship.
And the funny little story is that she actually used to be my student from Switzerland as well. So that's where we see that actually it's a very small world. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Ham. And then it leads you to your second internship, so what we call the professional internship. So here students really have a choice to work either what we call back of the house, so in the marketing department, the accounting department, project management. So you see in the picture here, we have some students working for the minor group, in the corporate office, working on different projects from L&D, spa, wellness, on different department, marketing. We have some students working in digital marketing. We have some students who went to do accounting at Rosewood, for example, or in human resources as well. So again, a lot of different choices as well. And I think in the picture, this is you, Ham, right?
Yes,
For your
that's me.
professional internship, exactly. But my recommendation as well, if depending on your career aspirations and you really want to become a GM, I would always recommend a student to also consider working in front of the house as well, because that will give you the chance to still talk to customer and really focus on this understanding of what it is to work with guests, what it is to work with a team to create a strong customer experience. But in that second professional internship, we'll be working with you and the hotel where you go to make sure that you shadow a manager so that the students also learns some management skills. So working for projects, working as a team, training staff, communication, looking at deadline, creating something, working on cost control in F&B, or maybe rooms division and so on. But this is something that we really focus on and insist on a lot to make sure that you also get those particular skills. Bree, how would you recommend a young person to do and to think about their second internship if they wanted to have an aspiration to become a GM? Would you agree with me?
Oh, absolutely, Chris. I think I can only reiterate that, it says it in the title, general manager. So you have to be generally knowledgeable about everything. So, you know, and you can't do that without having the distinct experiences within each of the different functions. So the more that you know, the more that you can contribute to, you know, when you are general manager, you do have your specialists and you do rely on them to pay attention to and lead the strategy of the hotel, but you have to know the intimate details of each of those functions. You know, some are front of house, some are back of house, and the role of GM is very much front of house as well, because you are with the guests, you are leading the team. So yes, I can't reiterate that enough. And most certainly from a talent perspective, when we're looking at resumes, it is highly recommended that you have those internships and displaying those front of house opportunities as well as back of house. We can see that you have a good overall knowledge and that you will respect, you know, the whole hotel environment.
Thank you so much, Brie. And I think it also goes back to what you mentioned, that you need to be a general manager, know everything. It goes really back to even the practical arts semester that you start your studies at. Because you will learn kitchen. We don't intend you to make you a chef, or you learn housekeeping. We don't intend you to become a housekeeper, but we intend you to understand the challenges that a chef will face, or understand the challenges that a housekeeper might face. So that day when you work with your executive housekeeper, you talk the same language, right? And that's really kind of the purpose of how it is being structured.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, so let's go into the nitty-gritty of today. And look at the different kind of career opportunities in hospitality, or I would say the title is slightly misleading, the career opportunities given to you by hospitality education. And then I'll explain and you see how it goes. So before going into the details of the jobs that you have, I wanted to talk first about the type of person you are. And I will do that by also looking at myself. So when I was 16 years old, a few years back, and I decided on what I wanted to do for my job and my career. At 16, I already kind of knew that I wanted to work for hotels. And the main reasons that I wanted to do that was, first and foremost, because I wanted to travel. Switzerland is a small country. It's a beautiful country. It's very green and very organized and everything, but it's kind of close by. So I really want to explore the world and different things. So I wanted to be able to work abroad. I wanted to experience luxury. I'm not coming from a rich background, but I wanted to be able to see what those five hotel lifestyle are. I wanted to be able to talk to maybe people, celebrities working indoors. Kind of that is the pathway that will help you to kind of get closer to that. I'd love fun, right? So not just working behind a computer, organizing events, organizing parties and things like that, something that really attracted me. And then again, something we say very often to anybody who wants to work in the industry is also about focusing on people. So being a people's person that takes joy in making other people happy and organizing other things. So that for this type of character, really. And the last time also, I wanted to have a potential to grow. I didn't want to, if I was a banker in Switzerland, I would need to be waiting 50 before I became even manager of a bank and so on. So where were the type of career aspiration or the type of industries that would help me to grow relatively quickly? So, and that's reasons why I chose hospitality. And even showing this slide today to you, I still believe that it is very much the right industry for people who have this type of aspiration. Anthony, do you agree with me on that?
Yes, I mean, these 5 points are really things that I sort of live up to in terms of the career that I've chosen in hospitality, right? From a young age, actually, I was living in Hong Kong, so commuting frequently, let's say, between France and Thailand, so that the whole travel aspect was already part of me. I think luxury also is something that I'm always seeking for, or at least looking to learn more about. And I was able to sort of experience a bit of it throughout the younger ages of my life, but as well now throughout the career. And fun, yeah, I think it is important to enjoy the work that you do, you know, and because if it fuels you on a daily basis, that in your job, you also want to enjoy having fun after work, right? So that third point is very important. People, yeah, you have to be a people person. I've done a few personality tests in my life to sort of know that I'm both introvert and extrovert. I like being with people, as well as having my own time. But I do know that when I am with people, it's really about, spending quality time with them, learning who they are, what are they good at, what do they want to do in life, how can I maybe contribute to their learnings or growth, right? And growth as the fifth point, I think it's essential to know that, an education in hospitality opens a multitude of doors, and it has for me. And I know that, although I've reached a position in quite a remarkable brand to be a part of, I know that life will not end where I am right now, and I have to sort of foresee what does the future have in store for me. So I keep on looking at, what are the future growth opportunities despite where I am today. And growth is also a big part of my previous life as well. How do I get to where I am today? How do I get to where I want to be tomorrow? All right. So all of these 5 points are really essential for me as well, Chris.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Bree, are you a fun-loving person?
Always, always. I like to have a good time.
Do you agree with those points as well in terms of the type of character, the type of aspirations that people have working in the
Yeah,
industry?
absolutely. I think, hospitality has a place for everyone. They're some of the strong characteristics, but, if you think about what we do in hospitality and in particular hotels, we're running little cities. So, we have little roles for everyone. So you can be the introvert, you can be the extrovert, you can be a specialist, you can be a generalist. So, I think not only are the skills and opportunities within hospitality are fantastic, and I hate to say this and hate to admit this, but going on from what Anthony was saying is that your skills are so transferable into other industries as well. People love what we learn in hospitality in terms of service, engagement, adaptability, and unfortunately we lose a lot of people into other industries because of the training that we have, the people skills that we've developed, and the leadership opportunities that we've been given. So yeah, it's a great place to launch from, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And it's already we're going into the next part of the presentation, really.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay.
No, it's perfect. It's a great segue to how all the skills that you acquire within starting your career in hospitality education and first steps in hospitality can help you go to other businesses. But of course, one of the first option potentially when you graduate and then you want to go is to work in hotels. So what does it mean to work in hotels? So working in F&B, working on restaurant concept, developing concept with a chef, working on service and improving service standards, or working at the front desk supervisor like him, welcoming customers, creating the experience as well there. Wellness is also a growing segment of hospitality. More and more hotels have their own spas. Some hotels become wellness centers in themselves, so looking at customers and how they are. And then also private butlers. Private butlers can also be a big outcome of graduating. We have one of our graduates working as a private butler for Rosewood in Qatar, for example. And then I always show the picture of the business, because at the end of the day, running a hotel is running a business. And if you're able to run a hotel, eventually all these skills will be transferable of running any other type of business, because everything you do in a hotel, you would do also somewhere else. So these are the type of positions and jobs that you can be expecting when you start to grow. And then typically what happens when someone starts their career into one department, they have a tendency, and correct me if I'm wrong, but to start working in the department, same route. So if I work in F&B, I will tend to go most in the F&B route, and then eventually maybe becoming the head of departments. And then when going to the GM, that's where the company will maybe give me a training to give me all the different skills of the department before becoming a general manager, right? Bree, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. I think more and more we're recognizing within hotels that we need to provide those opportunities for cross exposure, because that is what makes a well-rounded leader, not only in the specialist area but as a general manager as well. And then, of course, if you move into a corporate office experience, but yeah, you just need to be adaptable in that experience. But that's kind of the way that you go. But we're always looking at how we can, share different experiences and cross exposure.
So then I'm just going to go through now different industries where eventually you could be thinking or could be working on what the doors that it opens to you. Members of the panel, if you have any example of someone you know from your family background or an alumni of yours, please don't hesitate to just chime in. So event management is also a big outcome of hospitality. So event is sometimes a bit misunderstood. What exactly is event? Event starts very small. A hotel has a banqueting department, and in the banqueting department, they create events, seminar events, congresses, people coming together. Then it grows bigger into very popular form of event, which are called weddings, which very often are organized by hotels and look at all the different aspects. Then you go into what we call MICE, so meeting, incentive, congress, where you work for companies and you create events within a hotel and all the surrounding events. And then further, you could go into organizing big exhibitions as well, looking at festivals, organizing festivals, and even going into sports and sports management. I always like to use the example of some of the Les Roches alumni, which in 3 years ago in Qatar actually worked at the World Cup, and we're working on the VIP welcome VIP welcome on the hospitality aspect of VIPs when they went to watch the football matches. Because it's not just about the match itself, but it's how do you bring them to the stadium? How do you serve them food in the stadium? How do you bring them to the location and all of that? And it's again, hospitality graduates. So that is a very big outcome of people. And if you like the fun aspect of it, typically event management kind of matches with that type of career aspiration. A second one, which is also another growing industry, is looking at cruise lines. So cruise lines, these are essentially big hotels and big recreation park on the sea. You need to have the people, the passengers, you need to look after them in terms of their cabins, you need to look after them in terms of their food, their entertainment, their recreation and everything. Working in a cruise line, I think I've talked to a few people who've done it. It's either you love it or you hate it. You love it because you work very hard, but then you have no money, nowhere to spend your money, so you kind of save everything. And afterwards, you get to recuperate your days off, and then you get a longer holiday where you can finally spend that money. But it's hard work, so therefore that's why not everybody likes that type of lifestyle. And the other one is theme parks. Theme parks have hotels. I show a picture of Disneyland here, and one of my former students from Switzerland actually loved Disney and the Disney mindset so much that she actually did her 2 internship within Disney parks and hotels. So she went to Florida, and then she went to Paris. And then from there, when she graduated, she went to Hong Kong. And then she actually has achieved her dream, which was to work in every single Disney park around the world. And now combining both together, she's actually working on the Disney cruise, so managing a Disney cruise as well. So that's kind of how it all links together. Anthony, I saw you nodding the head when I talked about cruise lines.
Yeah, that was my first summer job, actually working on well, it wasn't a cruise, it was more of a ferry, right? But the concept was the same. I was working for a certain period of time, long hours, hard work, as you said, nowhere to spend my money, and then I had a certain amount of time off afterwards. But it's as you said, it's either you like it or you hate it. I'm sort of in between both. I still like it. Would I do it again? Maybe not, but I relate a lot to what you've just said.
Thank you, Anthony. Then a lot of students want to work in marketing. I think it's the appeal of social media, it's the appeal of creating videos and reels. So again, typically, very often our students, if they want to do marketing, actually end up working in the social media department and creating content, creating photos and putting on Instagram, on TikTok. LinkedIn for professional content, creating content for YouTube and so on. So all this kind of aspect of creative mindset is very important, but also looking at the analytical aspect of marketing, because it's not just about creating videos, but it's also about looking at what those numbers mean, how you attract customers through it. So again, if you can work in marketing for hotels, this is again a very transferable skills that you can really apply everywhere. And then we come to entrepreneurship. So hospitality education creates a very strong entrepreneurship spirit in the way that, again, you cover all the different aspects of what it means to run a hotel. Again, you will learn your accounting, your marketing, you will learn your human resources, your motivation, your leadership skills. You will have worked twice, you will have worked with people, you will have instructed people, you will have trained people. So all of this actually really prepares you to want to start your own business if you want to. Or if you have a family, a family business, then it also prepares you to start to take over the family business. Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's like Mr. Heineke when he was 17 here, starting his own empire, or even if you start thinking about doing something is around technology, and I'll come back to technology a little bit later, and working in those different aspects. So again, really preparing you for that. So travel and industry, one of the other big, I think, interesting aspects of this education and in this career is that travel and tourism is a huge industry. More and more people worldwide travel. More and more hotels of many brands are opening really everywhere around the world. These are the numbers from last year in terms of amount of money that it brought, the amount of jobs that are available worldwide. And then it's really showed that it's a huge industry with a very big scale and also big resilience. COVID-19 happened. The industry suffered a lot, but very quickly after that rebounded even quicker. And it's a great part because it means that if in the industry, there will always be a job. There will always be, if you want to work in it, if you're really motivated, the industry is hungry for people like you. So for employability, there's really one of the best choices that you can have. Anthony, I go back to you again. You graduated from Les Roches and you have a lot of classmates from Les Roches, right? Are all your classmates and alumni are still in the industry?
The majority of them are, to be quite honest. But a lot of them have sort of left hospitality. Some have gone to the banking industry, insurances. Some have gone across to tech, working for Apple in research and development. I know some who work for Apple, but in the F&B department, which some would never really know of. And that same person then also continued moving to Google, again in F&B. So yeah, I mean, I think out of all of the people I'm still in touch with, probably 40 to 50% are still in the industry of hospitality, and the others have gone to tech or banking, but quite a few actually started their own businesses, entrepreneurship. And most of them are probably, taking over family business, but some of them have begun their own startups. A challenge on its own to beginning from scratch, but they've been successful. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same story for me. If I look at all my classmates who graduated, I can see that I think only 20% of them are still in the industry, and most of them they're in the industry because it's their own family business or their own business, their own hotel or their own restaurants and so on. Most of the other people, again, have gone to banking, started their own business in sports, working in events management and so on. So again, just to show that hospitality education, the main question I have from if a parent comes to visit us and talks to me is like, oh, but I don't want my daughter, I don't want my son to work as a waiter when they graduate. And it's again just explaining to them that no, it's yes, you will work in a hotel, you will do an internship as a waiter, you might start in a restaurant and serve customers and look after them, but after that, all these options are really open. So one of the classic options as well for a lot of students is to work for the airline industry, flight attendant as well, or looking at ground service. Minor owns 50% of MJet, which is a private airplane company. This is also a big outcome for people who want to work in that. Because again, all the skills that you learn about managing a hotel, taking care of customers, looking after them, creating that luxury experience of like in a hotel like Amman or Anantara and others, typically can be replicated as well for private jets. So this is also a possibility for graduates after they've been working. One that is growing industry and more interesting, and even that it just happened 2 days ago, actually, I had a visit on campus from a local hospital. And they came to us and they wanted to work together a little bit more because they know that they feel that they typically are not offering a great hospitality experience in a hospital, if you know what I mean. So it's how do you look after your patients? Because you got the doctors and you got everybody looking after them, but it's kind of how do you create an experience that is good enough for them, not just for emergency purposes, but also for overall purpose and wellness. So this is also a lot of people are going to work into that one. It's a growing sector, and more people are investing into their well-being, and means again that there's a lot of career opportunities as well. And the one that is surprising when I show and I talked about the slide is actually working in real estate. Because at the end of the day, when we think about it, a hotel is managing a building, managing real estate. And you have to make sure your building lasts a long time, the valuation of your building, the renovation that goes into the building, knowing the price of the building, how to make the building more valuable, that eventually, potentially you could sell it later. And then if you have people working in kind of real estate /service department as well, to some extent, this is the same way as you would manage a hotel, but rather on a daily basis, you look at monthly or maybe half a year or yearly basis as well. So there's a lot of opportunity. I put real estate because I have 3 friends from graduating with me who actually all of them work for big real estate companies, buying hotels, managing hotels, finding hotel brands to manage their hotels, and that's really kind of part of the job and the valuation of the real estate and so on. Bree, you work with a lot of general managers, right? That's your day-to-day job. Can you tell us more about that real estate if you agree with what I said?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's actually not a well understood skill. I think you don't realize when you are managing a property the value that you hold as a general manager or even as a manager within the hotel. It's not just about maintaining the physical asset. The more revenue you can grow, the more guest satisfaction you can build, that's creating, a per room value that you don't understand when you're on the ground. But when we are selling the asset or buying assets, every contribution that you can make to the top line and the bottom line, increases the value of the property. So it's pretty much everything that you do. Like, what is the return on investment for any initiative that you do, any refurbishment? So it's a real skill to have. And the more that you understand the value of managing the real estate of a hotel or even a department or a restaurant, you're building value for your owner and you're building value for your brand as well.
Exactly. So very, very important skill and a very potential output as well. And I think a lot of GMs also need work very closely with owners as well to manage the asset, to make sure that it keeps having value. So very important. And we have an entire team at Minor that actually just works on that part as well.
Yeah.
Anthony, thank you for mentioning Apple, because this is also another example that I wanted to talk about. So luxury brand, looking after customer experiences. So people working for Apple, but with people working for Louis Vuitton, people working for all kind of luxury brands and luxury shop, because it's all about, again, I mentioned all about soft skills. I all mentioned about dealing with customers and creating experiences. And that typically is the type of skills that these brands are looking for, especially in the shop. I have colleagues who studied with me who are working into Patek Philippe in Geneva, and he looks after the shop over there to make sure that, again, all the customers who come buy watches are well looked after, and maybe even sometimes super VIP, organizing everything from pickup from the airport, inviting them to a nice dinner restaurant, bring them to the shop, make sure they have high value, they buy the very expensive watches, and that it's just not buying the physical good that is important, but it's the entire experience that is around it. Apple, my biggest surprise was last year I went to Seoul. And as I mentioned in the introduction, I'm a big Apple fan. So whenever I go to a new city, I have to go to visit an Apple store. And then I was starting to check the new iPad. And suddenly I hear someone coming to me, an employee, and says, excuse me, sir, are you from Switzerland? And then I was like, I looked at me, do I have a Swiss something on me? And I was like, am I so obviously Swiss? And then I talked to her, and then I recognized she was also another former student from Switzerland. And she graduated from hospitality. She did work quite a long time in hospitality, and then she transferred to Apple, and she's an Apple store manager. So looking again about not so much, of course, they need to know the technology, but it's more about, again, creating that experience in the store to make sure that people are feeling welcome, that they want to go to an Apple store. So again, another type of skills that you can use. Anthony, you said worked in F&B for Apple. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, it was somebody who used to be a director of food and beverage in a hotel. He had an opportunity actually to move to Apple, where they have their regional offices, right? So more at the corporate level, not so much Apple as the stores that we commonly think about. So where they have all of their research, learning, and development. So they sort of coordinate all of the let's say the culinary goodies to keep employees happy, and but also to bring innovation in terms of the culinary scene, as well as wellness, right? Which you touched upon a little bit earlier, right? It's not about just eating what you want, but eating healthily, to sort of all those protein shakes, fruits, vegetables, and all of that, right? And Google, that same person transferred to Google later on, and he's doing the same thing in their large offices. So there is a world for that as well.
Very interesting. Yeah, looking after creating internal customers, right? So working for a company and looking after the employee to create a great spot.
Can I add as well,
Of
Chris?
course,
When Icon Siam opened with the Apple Store within Icon Siam, one of Accor's hotel general managers, went to manage the store. So, it just goes to show that, the service experience and everything that hospitality has to offer is very well respected in the other industries as well.
Thank you. Thank you for the example. Now I know another example I will use. Thank you so much, Brit. And then last part, and it's a bit surprising for some people as well, is banking. And Anthony, you mentioned banking too, as some of your friends. And again, it's more looking at the private banking aspect, because private banking, high value customers. So it's not so much about, of course, you manage the money of the people, but it's how you create and welcome them, how to how to look at after the private bankers, create an experience around them, and the building of the soft skills, which you've done it very beginning in the practical arts and then in the two internship, talking to people, building your confidence in communication, serving guests, creating an experience. These are skills that you will be able to keep for the rest of your life. That will be very important in whatever different aspects of industry that you want to work in. And the last one I wanted to quickly mention was also digital and technology. And this is more related to the industry. So I'm talking about applications like Booking.com, Trip.com, Agoda, which is a Thai company, thinking about systems in hotels like property management system, keys, telephone operators, anything that is kind of related in technology but used in a hotel. Very often, this company like to hire hospitality graduate because they know what hotels are, they know how hotels run, they know what the demands of hotels are, and so it's easier for them to integrate. So again, either starting your own business or working for one of these tech company is also an output if that's something that you would like to do. All right, we're coming slowly to an end of the day, but I couldn't stop without talking about one of the options that you might have when you graduate as well. So you have an opportunity to go and work in a hotel and apply, and then like Ham, you go to Amman, you work as a front desk. After 6 months, you get promoted already. Well done again. Or you have also the other option, which is to go into a company, and many of them offer what we call management training programs. So Minor has its own training program called Ascent. Really, you have to talk about it.
Thanks so much, Chris. Yeah, we're just in the final stages of recruiting for this year's intake. We had over 700 applications for the program. And generally only 30 to 40 placements available globally. So that's the point. It's globally, there's, so many opportunities. And, I think Kunham and Anthony mentioned a few of the different hotels and resorts that we have placements in. But it is an 18-month program. The first 6 months is catered to embed you into hotel operations. So looking at all the different operations of the hotel to give you a broader view. The second 6 months is then specializing in 2 different functions, and that is led by you. So we like to say that the program is really led by you and designed by you. We want to place you on your trajectory to whatever focus you want, and then the final 6 months is a specialist in the function that you would like to explore a bit more, and then hopefully from that you stay with us at Minor or in the industry, and go from there. So it's a really great way to explore different opportunities, different locations, and it's just such an exciting program to be part of.
So we have on the picture, we have Andrew, used to be a classmate of Ham. He also proposed to go with Ascent, but he eventually decided to go for Mandarin Oriental. So he's doing his management training over there. He's doing very well. He's been doing a year. He's working in the rooms division. That's what he wanted to do. He works on a big project, apparently in the housekeeping department. And then he's been proposed to go to the corporate office in London, if I'm not mistaken. So something that he will do as well. So kind of a great experience. And then next to the picture on the right-hand side, this is Kun Dilip, is our CEO of Minor and Minor International and Minor Hotels. And next to him, our 2 Ascend graduates as well. So Sandy and Nimi, who studied at AIM. So Sandy did the 7 semesters with us. And then Nimi went to Switzerland for the final year and came back. And they work with you, Brie, right? I think they're doing quite well.
Yes, they're doing great. So they got to choose their 2 placements of where they'd like to explore, and then the final 6 months they come back into the different functions that they enjoy. And I'd like to say that they have enjoyed people and culture the most.
Of course, it's the best department, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, but it's the option is theirs, which is the exciting part.
All right. So to conclude this webinar, so just wanted to kind of we talk about hospitality industry traditionally. So we'll be looking at travel, been looking at tourism, hotels, F&B, restaurants, bars, and that, of course, these are all the options that are always available to you. It's a very dynamic industry, a lot of potential to grow, different positions, a lot of chances to experience different lifestyle, a lot of chances to travel and experience new culture, meet new people, work in different places, fall in love in a different country. So there's definitely a lot of different options available to work in the industry. It's a fantastic industry to work in. But again, if you something that, or maybe I want to explore something different. So it's going really from the overall traditional hospitality to the experience economy. And this experience economy of looking after customers, making sure that customers are being looked after, making sure they're creating a good experience for them. Again, on this different slide is showing kind of all the different options. And Brie mentioned it during the webinar, and Anthony as well. But it's not just looking at, it's not maybe right away from graduating. You can also work a few years in the industry, acquire all these different skills, getting that experience. And then eventually, if you want to have a maybe more balanced life, family life, typically you can go change. Like me, I went to hospitality to education. Or like Bree's friend, gone from a GM of Accor and then run to an Apple store and so on. So the options are really big. And again, that's really one of the strong reasons why I believe that hospitality is a great education and a great choice. I'll just open to my panel again if they would like to add another point to conclude, and then we'll just open the floor to questions. Ham, we haven't talked a lot at the end. Anything you'd like to add?
Also, just wanted to share that it's also possible to keep your choice open and to also explore many different areas. you can have like a rough plan of what you want your journey to be like, but then it's also okay to have like your options and your other career path as well.
It's a very good point. I never planned to go to Thailand. My dream was to go to the US at the time, but I didn't get the opportunity to go there. And then my friend says, I have a cousin in Thailand. Do you want to try Thailand? And then that's where I went and had a great start of career and life. So definitely, sometimes you have a plan, but life happens. And then sometimes you have to also be flexible, for sure. Thank you, Ham. Anthony, anything to add?
Yeah, I think the industry is, you need to be passionate about the industry, right? Without it, it makes it a hard day in the office, right? But I think what, hospitality education really teaches you, and it's probably not in any of the courses that you'll have, is how to deal with people, right? Whether you stay in hospitality or you move to airlines, cruises, banking, consulting, you're dealing with individuals, whether they're your colleagues or your customers, right? And I think, Chris, you mentioned, private banking. One of my classmates, he works in private banking, and it's all because of the soft skills, is how to welcome the customer, take care of them, make them feel the value, right? And this is what hospitality education really teaches you at the end of the day. It's how to deal with each other, right? And that's sort of maybe why I am where I am today as well.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Bree, final words?
I think just to reiterate what everyone has said, it's just really, there's so many opportunities in hospitality. So the more open you are to the opportunities that come your way, if you are mobile, the world is, your oyster. And, stay curious, stay open. I think almost every single one of the opportunities that I've had, I didn't know that was my next step. So you never know where it's going to come from. And if you're open to that, then and you can fast track your career, and you can learn very, very quickly.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So just open, if anybody would like to ask, take the chance to talk to the panel. Anybody, if you're shy to open the microphone, you can put the question in the chat. Take advantage of this opportunity. Ask any questions you have in terms of career choices, internship, or anything else. That's always a shy moment normally. There is a question in the chat. Fantastic. Oh, thank you for the meeting. You're most welcome. Thank you, Nacha. All right. Seems like we've answered all the questions. Okay. Yes, Amanda, go ahead.
Hi, can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I have one question before I leave.
Sure.
What if my career path doesn't meet my career choice that I wanted to?
Okay, so meaning that it doesn't go as per what you planned initially. That's the question.
What you planned initially?
Yeah, and it doesn't go as what you wanted to do, right? Bree, has your talent development? Do you have any?
Yeah, I think that's what we were trying to say before, is that there's so many different opportunities in the industry. So whether you go down the F&B route, then you might change your mind. And the industry is always really welcoming in looking at how we can give you cross exposure. So it could be that, you're going down one way, but then, just general experience in hospitality opens your opportunities into other functions or even, other locations. So it's really transferable. And I think that's what we say about hospitality, because there's the service element. You can put that into any industry and it's very, very well valued.
Thank you. There's maybe another question for you, actually. Poon wrote, how can someone move from frontline position to management roles? Or
Yeah.
Anthony as well, potentially.
Yes, and I suppose it is looking at the company that you work with. When you are selecting your opportunity, so whether it's a different brand or if it's a restaurant. So it depends on what you would like to go into, but they will tell you a lot of the opportunities before you even start. So you can see that there's different traineeships on offer. So for example, I just mentioned Ascent, so that is fast tracking you into a management role. Then we've got different development opportunities in leadership. So when you become a supervisor, we have a program called Agile, for example, that is leading you into leadership opportunities and skills. And so you learn as you go, and we're always wanting to promote and give you the opportunity to become a leader. A big thing for most companies is how do we retain our staff and how do we give the opportunities for growth as well. And in the industry, that's what we call an employee value proposition. So what can we give you? So there's always opportunities and we need to keep you. So we need to be providing more and more opportunities for training and opportunities for engagement as well.
Thank you so much. Anthony, what would you look like into the characteristics of someone working frontline and you want them to look that they want to exhibit to see that they have management potential?
I think for me, how to say, the internships are a great opportunity to sort of put that into practice, right? Because it's a certain there you have a certain time frame on property to exhibit your skill set. But it's also a great time for testing to be done, right? To sort of try a couple of things out, work on a few projects for the hotel or the resort. In a lot of the hotels that I've worked at, in order to exhibit, potential to become a manager, you needed to sort of show yourself, show your capabilities, exhibit and demonstrate that you were able to perform well. And I'm sure Ham, you could probably explain a bit more, given your recent promotion to becoming a supervisor, and that's the first step to becoming a manager, right? For me, it was also through keeping communication active, right? I sort of kept in touch with my front office manager during my first internship. My first internship, in her eyes, was a successful one. She kept a good image of who I was. And my first internship was a frontline receptionist. My second internship, because of good communication, good performance, I was already an assistant manager, right? Still in the internship, but because I was able to exhibit good performance, right? So I think it's demonstrating that you are capable of doing it in frontline positions, and then you can move towards the back of the house or the managerial roles there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
Also,
yes, go ahead.
Also, I just wanted to share that, like, I know someone who recently transition from the front of house to a more corporate role, and I think that is such a good opportunity for them to have that chance to experience the front line first, and that make you a more well-rounded person. Then you transition to a corporate role that make you understand the guest experience and also the operation as well.
Thank you so much. Bree, like characteristics, What would you look into someone who is working as maybe a trainee or maybe someone who is just started working into that you see that they have management potential?
Yeah, absolutely. A big one is being curious. So whatever department you're going into or wherever you're starting, please ask questions. I think it's very well valued. Be curious about the way things operate, the people that you encounter. That's how you're going to truly know and understand whether it's a guest or whether it's a teammate, if you're leading a team, for example. So being curious. Also, starting to practice your leadership skills, whether it's communication. I think that's a big one that we really need to focus on as we're becoming a leader. How do you communicate across different cultures? How do you communicate to each person individually? So that's very, very important. And then, just being adaptable and resilient. So, doing things that are hard. It is, I think I saw a question just before about, the competitive nature of hospitality. I think, yes, it is competitive, but there's just so many opportunities out there that, you really can thrive. And if you don't like that one opportunity that you're in, you have all of the opportunity to change. So it's really being adaptable, being curious, and like I said, being able to communicate really effectively.
I would just add to that, thank you, Brie. I would just add to that confidence as well. I think it's a very important aspect. Don't be afraid to just talk to your guests. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Be a bit of, if you're introverted, force yourself to be extroverted in the fact that you show that confidence and communicating and going to guests and so on will make you remarked by the management, and then that's where kind of you will get your opportunities. If you're the smartest in the room but you don't show it to anybody, then you won't get easily that promotion. There was Lisa who asked a question. I tried to summarize it like competition. Don't want to go into the industry because there's a lot of competition. My answer to that really is it's the opposite. Whenever I meet an hotel manager, an owner, the first question they have is, we need your people, we need your students, we need your graduates. We're looking for people. We don't have enough. So I think it's competitive, but if you're really looking for opportunities if you're motivated to work in the industry, you want to travel, you are mobile, as Brie mentioned, there's a lot of opportunities out there. I see Anthony and Brie nodding, so I believe that they agree. Okay, Natnari asked about Amman. That's for you, Anthony. I heard that there's a new MIT opportunity called Ignite. Can you talk about it?
Yes, so I'm fairly new to the Aman brand, but you're correct. Ignite is a new MIT program. I believe the first batch of students will be graduating in a couple of months now, and so I think there were about 10 or 12 students who were selected to complete their management training programs. The best way, if you are interested, is to get in touch with the Aman corporate human resources team, because they are the ones directly doing the presentations about the company. They're there to meet the students, and they're the ones doing the interviews as well, right? So if you don't know how to reach out to them, do feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to share further about it.
Thank you, Anthony. I was just looking, there was a question we missed from Sharon, but I think we kind of replied it. What is one thing you would recommend a student who wants to become a general manager to practice, adopt early on? Brie, you want to take a crack at that one?
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I was going with the previous one, and to add to that what you said about confidence. And in all of those skills that we've just mentioned, it takes practice. I suppose to link it back to my experience, I used to be super shy. really, really shy. And I know Chris can't imagine that now, but you know, it's something that you have to practice. And I go back to being resilient and trying new things, and you know, just pushing yourself. I think that that's how you grow, is really being adaptable and you know, you giving yourself a little bit of a stretch. It's so important, and that's what you have to do in leadership every single day. So you know, practice all of those skills and put yourself out there, try new things.
All right, perfect. Thank you. So, dear panel, Ham, Bree, Anthony, thank you so much for taking the time to be on this webinar. There's a lot of gold nuggets in there. I hope it will be useful. This video will be recorded. This webinar will be recorded, available on our YouTube. So if you want to direct anybody to watch it again, and then I hope we will see again very soon in the future. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to the audience as well for coming and spending an hour with us. And wish you all the best for your career choices and all the future.
Thank you for the
All right.
opportunity. Nice to chat, everyone.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you
Goodbye.
so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.